Hey YouTube, what's up? In JT Sasuke, I'm here to bring you my review for The Flash. So, jumping right into this is a really good episode. I'm just going to get my feelings out the way real quick. I really like this episode of The Flash. I thought it was very legit. And since I'm not doubling up, I'm actually going to talk about the episode just sporadically in different parts. I have to say that the theme of this episode was who to trust. Because Dr. Harrison Wells is back. Of course, he's not from Barry's Earth. He's from Jay Garrick's Earth. And this is, we get to see that Jay Garrick and Harrison Wells actually have some history. They don't like each other. They both blame each other for Zoom. And we come to find out that Harrison Wells is actually the person that created Zoom, because just like on Barry's Earth, the Jay Garrick's Harrison Wells, he created the particle accelerator. Something went wrong and it exploded. Of course, that Harrison Wells made the mistake by accident. The one on Barry's Earth did it on purpose. So with that being said, we see that he was able to create Zoom. We don't know who he is still, but he is the reason that Zoom and the metahumans are alive. So in his Earth, he actually created a watch that could detect metahumans, and there was a press conference where he was releasing that, and it signaled that the Flash was coming, and the Flash tried to challenge him there, saying that you created Zoom, you need to help me stop him. And Harrison Wells was like, look, you're the superhero, why don't you do your job and stop Zoom? Now, the reason why Harrison Wells is here is because he wants to help Barry stop Zoom, because he knows that the Flash on that Earth, on Barry's Earth, which is Barry, and he wants to help Barry stop Zoom. Now, he has an alternative motive, definitely. I don't know what it is, we don't know what it is, but we'll have to see. We actually had a fight between Jay Garrick and Harrison Wells, which I was extremely surprised about, that they actually went to physical violence, and Barry was standing there just watching it. And I'm like, Barry, shouldn't you be stopping this? But you know, he eventually did step in and stop it with his speed. But it was really cool to see that this Harrison Wells, way different than the Eobard Thawne controlled Harrison Wells. So, with that being said, I actually kind of want to move on. And I actually kind of want to talk about Cisco for a moment. So two things mainly happened with Cisco in this show. Or in this episode, I should say. A, we got introduced to Hawk Girl. Now, she just moved to the city. She's working at the coffee shop that they usually go to. And Cisco was talking to Barry about what had happened between Barry and Manshark last episode. And Patty came in. Patty was going to ask him to write a police report with her, talking about Barry. But Barry said that he had some science stuff to do, so she was like, oh, okay. So she decided to not get coffee because it was kind of awkward, because she wanted to, go out with Barry, and Barry kind of shot her down. Not because he wasn't interested, but because he did have stuff to do and stuff to worry about. Cisco was just like, dude, Harrison Wells isn't going to be here. You know what I'm saying? We don't let what we're doing stop you from living your life. So that kind of made Barry say, hey, maybe you're right. With that being said, Cisco went ahead, talked to the girl that was supposed to become Hawk Girl later on, and asked her for her number instead of coffee, and she said no. Later on in the episode, he actually comes back, but this time he just wants coffee. And she was just like, I'm sorry, I'm new here, I'm from a small town, so everything was so big, and you caught me off guard, but yes, I would like to go out with you if you wanted to go out with me. And he was like, cool, and got her number. Also, he was exposed as a metahuman. See, earlier he had got the sensation and was able to see where the metahuman from Earth 2 was. Harrison Wells, he then said that he was going to use the Starlab satellite to calibrate for, I believe it was external solar radiation or something, because she can emit light. He said he was going to do that with the Starlab's satellites, but Harrison Wells was like, I want to see. He questioned him. He was like, you said you were going to do that, right? I want to check your system. I want to make sure it works. And he was like, don't worry, it does. And that's when he looked at his watch and seen that the metahuman detector had went off. So later, he exposed him as a metahuman. And the reason why we find out why he didn't want to tell anybody was because last season, Harrison Wells, Eobard Thawne, had told him that he gave him those powers, and that one day he'll thank him. So he's afraid that he's going to become evil with his powers, and he doesn't want that. So, but he was outed as a metahuman. He didn't know how to control his powers, and Harrison Wells kind of gave him a push into it by like kind of literally hitting him, and he was able to activate his powers and know where she was, which is pretty cool. Later on, they actually named him Vibe, which is Cisco Ramon's name from the comics. He becomes a superhero named Vibe, who can sense vibrations and stuff like that. So that's really cool. And Barry actually gave him that name. So moving on, we also get to see that Barry is having a storyline of his own. So Barry and Patty go on a date, but before they go on a date, Barry actually comes in contact with Dr. Light. That's her name from Earth 2. What ends up happening actually is Dr. Light is Linda Parks, Barry's ex-girlfriend's doppelganger from Earth 2. She was brought over, sorry there's a vacuum going on, but she was brought over to kill Barry, to kill the Flash. So what ended up happening was when they found out who she was, when they found out that Dr. Light was there, Jay Garrick and Harrison Wells were going back and forth telling Barry that you have to take her down and you can talk her out of this. She's not a killer. So what ended up happening when Barry tried to talk to her, he ended up blinding her, and she ended up blinding him, and he went on a date with Patty. She deducted she couldn't see him after a while. In the meantime, Cisco ended up helping him, and Iris actually ended up talking him into going on that date still, and told him to ask Cisco for help or ask somebody for help, so he did. What ends up happening is after the date, his eyesight gets better. Him and Patty kiss, which was a really romantic and nice moment. And then he goes after Dr. Light. Listening to Harrison Wells, he decides to take her in, so that way he can lure Zoom in, so that way they can take him down. Now, Jay Garrick was outed at being scared of Zoom, and he had actually said for 2 years he was hunting Zoom. Harrison Wells outed him out, saying, no, for 2 years Zoom was hunting you. You're scared of him. That's why you haven't taken him down, and that was true. So when fighting Dr. Light, he actually ended up moving so fast that he made multiple speed mirages, so that way she wouldn't know who to attack, and eventually he took her down. With that being said, that was the episode of The Flash. It was a really good episode. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought about it. And subscribe to my channel for more Flash content. Alright? Peace.